Hannah, this is a core of your company, coding, coding, coding. A lot of innovations come from Sweden. What is the reason?
I think that question goes a long way back, because if you look at a company like Ericsson, they started in the 19th century as a phone repair company, and later in the 80s they went on to really kind of pioneer the mobile telephony space. And in the same time, another company, Kinnevik, they pioneered and started some of the modern mobile operating space. So already there we have a subset of innovation and so on. And then if you combine that with the infrastructure in Sweden, we were one of the first countries in the world to really adopt an internet-enabled PCs. And if you combine that with long winters where you can't really go outside, the kids spent, again during the 80s, spent a lot of time just tinkering away with the machines. One of those kids you might know, his name is Marcus Persson, and he built a little game called Minecraft, which recently sold to Microsoft for a heaping $2.5 billion. And if you look at izettle, one of our founders here, Jacob De Geer and Magnus Nilsson, they have lots of successful startups exits behind them. So we see kind of a third wave on entrepreneurs here in Sweden right now, and I think that's a typical kind of long tradition of Swedish company succeeding and others wanting to follow.
You talked about the long, cold Swedish winters. How does Sweden support this spirit of innovation and entrepreneurship?
We have lots of initiatives, both public and private, and I think if you look at the broadband connectivity, if you look at mobile phone and smartphones penetration here in Sweden, we're really on the forefront of that, which really lies out the foundation, what you need. And there's also has been a deep kind of hack culture that I just mentioned again with Marcus Persson and others that has really funded other founders such as Skype, Niklas Zennström, and I think a combination of those different areas lays out the subset of an innovative country. And right now we have great accelerators here in Stockholm and in Sweden, such as the Business Lab from Stockholm School of Economics, as well as SUP 46, which you might have heard of.
Do you think that Swedish founders think more internationally, more than Germans?
Oh, definitely. I mean, we have to, because Sweden is a tiny country, and Swedish is a very tiny language. So for example, if you fund a company in Germany today, you have a huge market that you can tap into before you can even think about market expansion. Here in Sweden, we don't have that luxury. So from the onset, you have to think global, and that has really formed the entrepreneurial culture here. Such as, having an English kind of culture, making sure that everything you built is scaled for other markets. So if you fund a company, you have to think global from the get-go. And I think another interesting point is that doesn't really just apply to the business sector, because if you look at music, we've had phenomenals such as ABBA. They started writing in English from the start for an international market. We had, I'm sure you've heard of Roxette and Ace of Base, which were quite popular in Germany. Again, they were huge international successes. And more recently, we've had Swedish House Mafia, Avicii.
That means Tech-Innovations are the new ABBA.
I think that's a very bold statement, but I like it, yes.
The kids in Sweden learn coding very early, I think.
Yeah, and again, that goes with the whole smartphone penetration that we have. Households all have fiber optics or broadband connectivity, and as well as we learn English from a very young age. So all that really drives innovation from an early age, where Swedish people think globally.